Hello, I'm Sasha Hawatbal here with Artin Safarian to discuss a very common question we receive almost daily. Two-part question. We're going to talk about construction timelines and change orders. So Art, let's start with construction timelines. Take us through what somebody can expect when building out a new office.
Usually dental offices, average dental offices, we're talking about 2,000 through 5,000 square foot. You're looking at a 10-week, once you start construction, once there's permits, you're talking about a 10-week to a 12-week process, depending on the size of the space you're going into. In a 10-week process, your first step is basically going to be, we got the permits. What we're going to do is we're going to chalk it out for clients to walk it through and understand what they're seeing on paper for design matches to what they're actually physically seeing on site. So what we like to do is we like to chalk it through and walk it through with our clients, go through each room, make sure they get a good feel of what the actual size is, so that when we start the construction, that's it. We won't be able to change things, and that's what you mentioned, change orders. We want to eliminate creating change orders.
So let's start with the chalk out you mentioned. Could a client at that point make minor adjustments if they notice, let's say their operatory, if it's a dental office, is too small? Can you tweak rooms at that time?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why we do a chalk through. At that point, if a room is too small or it's a little bit bigger, we are able to make minor adjustments to the physical measurements, dimensions of any rooms or any walls required. Where it would involve, resubmitting or going through the county process again is if you're changing locations of sinks and electrical requirements and things like that. As long as you're keeping that away, you can definitely make those adjustments, and that's why we do the chalk through.
A good GC, a good general contractor, will keep you involved throughout the construction timeline with, depending on the scope of the work and the size of the timeline, bi-weekly or monthly meetings, updating you and you get a chance to see the site. And ultimately, to avoid delays and something that Art mentioned earlier, change orders. Please define change orders, because it's something that we get asked all the time. What is it? Should I be afraid of it?
Most people are afraid of change orders, and that's because with the nature of the business, what a change order constitutes is any change, right? Like, we get a lot of clients that come to us like, we want to make sure you guys are not creating change orders, right? Well, change orders throughout construction, throughout anything, you're always going to have change orders. The question is, sometimes I say it, I relate change orders to cholesterol. There are good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. There are good change orders and bad change orders, right? And of course, no change order is a good change order, but what I mean by a good change order is one that a client knows that they're creating, right? For example, if in the middle of your construction you eliminate a wall and want to put a glass instead of a wall, or you eliminate a light and want to relocate a light, that's a change order you're creating. And chances are you're creating that change order because it wasn't pre-planned properly in the planning stages when you did the drawings. Maybe you didn't understand it well, maybe the designer didn't go through it very well. Whatever the reason is, you're coming on site and you're saying, I want to make the following changes, right? The bad change orders are changes that are created without your understanding. For example, if you hire a contractor that's not taking into consideration that by code a backflow preventer is needed and has priced your project up, now he's coming back to you and say, the county is requiring me to put backflow preventer. Well, here are the charges, here's a change order. I didn't know what was needed. Well, a good contractor and an expert contractor would have known to put that in the pricing, but in this case, obviously, maybe strategically this contractor left it out to have the lower cost to win the bid and then come in and hit you with a change order. Unfortunately, because of games like this, all change orders have been categorized as bad change orders, and people are afraid of change orders. I always say, look, if you do your due diligence, you know who you're hiring, you've done your research, you can eliminate these hidden conditions and eliminate change orders as much as possible.
And keep in mind something I want to mention that pops up. Change orders is not necessarily always a numerical value in terms of cost. You could have a $0 amount change order, but a 2-week delay.
Correct.
So something that comes up, it might have no cost, but that 2-week delay could be more costly to you than $200-300.
A very important point, actually, you're pointing out that you're right. Change orders are not only cost related; they're time related. I've seen construction get delayed for weeks, sometimes months. I've seen and been part of construction that has delayed for months because of a change order that could have been prevented had it been thought about in the planning stages to eliminate it from happening. So you're absolutely correct on the change orders.
So, in layman's terms, proper planning, proper execution can avoid unnecessary change orders.